Ezekiel 10 through 12. Then I looked, and behold, in the expanse that was over the head of the cherub, there appeared above them something like a sapphire stone, in appearance of the likeness of a throne. He spoke to the man clothed in linen, and said, Go in between the whirling wheels, even under the cherub, and fill both your hands with coals of fire between the cherub, and scatter them over the city. And he went in as I watched. Now the cherub stood on the right side of the house when the man went in, and the cloud filled the inner court. And the glory of Yahweh mounted up from the cherub and stood over the threshold of the house. And the house was filled with the cloud, and the court was full of brightness of the glory of Yahweh. And the sound of the wings of the cherubim was heard even to the outer court, as the voice of El Shaddai when he speaks. It came to pass, when he commanded the man clothed in linen, saying, Take fire from between the whirling wheels, from between the cherubim. Then he went in and stood beside the wheel, and the cherub stretched out his hand from between the cherubim to the fire that was between the cherubim, and took some of it, and put it in the hands of him who was clothed in linen, who took it and went out. The form of a man's hand appeared here in the cherubim under their wings. I looked, and behold, there were 4 wheels beside the cherubim, 1 wheel beside one cherub, and another wheel beside another cherub. The appearance of the wheels was like a beryl stone. As for their appearance, the 4 of them had one likeness, like a wheel within a wheel. When they went in their 4 directions, and they did not turn as they went, but to the place where the head looked they followed, and they did not turn as they went, and their whole body, including their backs, their hands, their wings, and their wheels, were full of eyes all around, even the wheels that the 4 of them had. As for the wheels, they were called in my hearing the whirling wheels. Every one of them had 4 faces. The first face was the face of the cherub. The second face was the face of a man. The third face was the face of a lion. And the fourth face was the face of an eagle. And the cherubim mounted up. This is the living creature that I saw by the river Chebar. When the cherubim went the wheels beside them, and when the cherubim lifted up their wings to mount up from the earth, the wheels also did not turn from beside them. When they stood, these stood still. And when they mounted up, these mounted up with them. For the spirit of the living creature was in them. The glory of Yahweh went out from over the threshold of the house, and stood over the cherubim. And the cherubim lifted up their wings, and mounted up from the earth in my sight. When they went out, were the wheels beside them. Then I stood at the door of the east gate of the house of Yahweh, and the glory of God of Israel, I was over them above. Then this is the living creature that I saw under the God of Israel by the river Chebar. And I knew that there was cherubim. Every one had 4 faces, and every one 4 wings, and the likeness of one of the hands of a man was under their wings. As for the likeness of their faces, they were the faces which I saw by the river Chebar, their appearances and themselves. They each went straight forward. Moreover, the Ruach lifted me up and brought me to the east gate of the house of Yahweh, which looks eastward. Behold, 25 men were at the door of the gate, and I saw among them Jezaniah, the son of Azur, and Pelatiah, the son of Benaiah, princes of the people. And he said to me, Son of man, these are the men who devise iniquity, and who give wicked counsel in this city, who say, The time is not near to build houses. This is the cauldron, and we are the meat. Therefore prophesy against them, O son of man, prophesy. The Ruach Adonai fell on me, and he said to me, Speak, this is what Yahweh says. Thus you have said, House of Israel, for I know the things that come into your mind. You have multiplied your slain in this city, and you have filled its streets with the slain. Therefore, this is what Adonai Yahweh says. Your slain, whom you have slain in the middle of it, they are the meat, and this is the cauldron. But you will be brought out of the middle of it. You have feared the sword, and I will bring the sword on you, says Adonai Yahweh. I will bring you out of the middle of it, and deliver you into the hands of strangers, and will execute judgments among you. You will fall by the sword. I will judge you on the border of Israel, then you will know that I am Yahweh. This will not be your caldron, neither will you be the meat in the middle of it. I will judge you on the border of Israel. You will know that I am Yahweh. For you have not walked in my statutes, you have not executed my ordinances, but you have done the ordinances of the nations that are around you. And it came to pass, when I prophesied, that Pelatiah, the son of Benaiah, died. Then I fell down on my face and cried with a loud voice and said, Ah, Adonai, Yahweh, will you make full end of the remnant of Israel? The word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, your brothers, even your brothers, the men of your relatives and all the house of Israel, all of them, are they to whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem have said, Go far away from Yahweh, this land who has been given to us as a possession? Therefore say, This is what Adonai Yahweh says. Although I have sent them far away from the nations and scattered them among the countries, yet I will be to them a sanctuary for a little while in the countries where they have come. Therefore say, This is what Adonai Yahweh says. I will gather you from the peoples and assemble you out of the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you Eretz Israel. They will come there, and they will take away all its detestable things and all its abominations from there. And I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit within you. I will take the stony heart out of their flesh, and I will give them a heart of flesh, that they may walk in my statutes and keep my ordinances and do them. They will be my people, and I will be their God. But as for them, whose hearts walk after the heart of their detestable things and their abominations, I will bring their way on their own heads, says Adonai Yahweh. Then the cherubim lifted up their wings and wheels beside them, and the glory of God of Israel was over them above. The glory of Yahweh went up from the middle of the city and stood on the mountain which is on the east side of the city. The Ruach lifted me up and brought me in the vision by the Ruach Elohim into Kasdimah, to the captives. So the vision that I had seen went out from me. Then I spoke to the captives all the things that Yahweh had shown me. The word of Yahweh also came to me, saying, Son of man, you dwell in the middle of a rebellious house, who have eyes to see and do not see, who have ears to hear and do not hear, for they are a rebellious house. Therefore, the Son of man, prepare your belongings for exile, and move by day in their sight. You shall move from their place to another place in their sight. It may be they will consider, though they are a rebellious house, you shall bring out your belongings by day in their sight as belongings for exile. You shall go out yourself at evening in their sight, as when men go out into exile. Dig through the wall in their sight and carry your belongings out that way. In their sight you shall bear it on your shoulder and carry it in the dark. You shall cover your face so that you do not see the land, for I have set you for a sign to the house of Israel. And I did so as I was commanded. I brought out my belongings by day as belongings for exile. In the evening I dug through the wall with my hand. I brought it out in the dark and bore it on my shoulder in their sight. In the morning the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, has not the house of Israel, the rebellious house, said to you, What are you doing? Say to them, This is what Adonai, Yahweh, says. This burden concerns the prince of Jerusalem and all the house of Israel among whom they are. Say, I am your sign. As I have done, so will it be done to them. They will go into exile, into captivity. The prince who is among them will bear on his shoulder in the dark and will go out. They will dig through the wall to carry things out that way. He will cover their face because he will not see the land with his eyes. I will also spread my net on him, and he will be taken in my snare. I will bring him to Babylon, to the land of Kasdim. Yet he will not see it, though he will die there. I will scatter toward every wind all who are around him to help him, and all his troops. I will draw out the sword after them. They will know that I am Yahweh. when I disperse them among the nations and scatter them through the countries. But I will leave a few men of them for the sword, from the famine, and from the pestilence, but that they may declare all the abominations among the nations that are to come. Then they will know that I am Yahweh. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, eat your bread with quaking, and drink your water with trembling, and with fearfulness. And tell the people of the land, this is what Adonai Yahweh says concerning the inhabitants of Jerusalem and Eretz Yisrael. They will eat their bread with fearfulness, and drink their water in dismay, that her land may be desolate, and all that is therein, because of the violence of those who dwell therein. The cities that are inhabited will be laid waste, and the land will be a desolation. Then you will know that I am Yahweh. The word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, what is this proverb that you have in Eretz Yisrael, saying, the days are prolonged, and every vision fails? To them, therefore, this is what Adonai Yahweh says, I will make this provision to cease, and they will no more use it as a proverb in Israel. But tell them, the days are at hand, and the fulfillment of every vision. And there will be no more any false vision nor flattering divination within the house of Israel, for I am Yahweh. I will speak, and the word that I speak will be performed. It will be no more deferred. For in your days, rebellious house, I will speak the word and will perform it, says Adonai Yahweh. Again the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel says, the vision that he sees is for many days to come, and he prophesies of times that are far off. Therefore say to them, this is what Adonai Yahweh says, none of my words which will be delayed any more, but the word which I speak will be performed, says Adonai Yahweh.